actually had two stints as a member of First Baptist Church. In the fall of 1966, as a freshman at the University of Arkansas, I joined the church along with probably 100 and 150 other students from the university on that first Sunday that school started. I was a member of First Baptist Church till after graduation and moved my membership to Little Rock in 1971. So I guess 5 years. Then God brought us back here in 1979. So we joined First Baptist Church in 79. So I guess that's 45 years plus. We actually joined the week that First Baptist Church called Jerry and Royce Ann View of a Call. So I can pretty well put the date of we joined the same time that Jerry and Royce Ann did. So whatever that was, 45 years ago, I met Jerry Mitchell and Royce Ann the night that the church called them in View of a Call. I walked down, shook their hand, said, "My name is Rick Tanneberger, and you're Jerry Mitchell and you're Royce Ann Mitchell, and glad for you to be a part of our church." Even though I was a member then either. In 1986, Jerry Mitchell came to me on a Sunday night and asked if I would be interested in going on a mission trip to Brazil. Never been out of the country, the U.S., so I proceeded to give him about 5 or 6 different really good reasons why I could not go to Brazil as a 36-year-old, married and had 3 kids. The youngest one was 5, and I just couldn't afford it, couldn't take away time from my family, and all of those excuses. And so he said, okay. So then in the process of praying about it and the Holy Spirit speaking to me through my wife, she said, "You know, I can take care of the kids, and I don't see any reason why you couldn't go on the mission trip." The missions committee funded some of partial of the trip, so I did all of my 5 excuses ran out, and so Jerry Mitchell, Jake Kitchens, and myself traveled to Belém, Brazil in May of 1986. Spent a week to 10 days there doing door-to-door evangelism, knocking on doors. I didn't speak Portuguese, they didn't speak English, but God worked it out to where we were able to share the gospel for 4 or 5 days. He was actually preaching revival every night, and so we would come back to the motel room, get ready and go, and he would preach a revival in the evening times. Other connections, I was on the finance committee, and he was the staff person on the finance committee. I was really impressed because he had a great understanding of the finances of the church and how they worked, and so I was really impressed with his participation in it and his wisdom as we worked through some challenging years back in the early years when we were trying to make budget. The thing that I remember most about Jerry is he had this uncanny ability to remember people's names. And so I remember at different occasions I would be up on stage with him, and he would point out somebody in the congregation before the service started, and I was up there to pray or something, and he'd say, "Back there about 8 rows back, the young girl, she came here about 6 or 7 years ago," and he could recall her name. And I just said, wow, I remember her, but there was no way. And he just had that uncanny way of remembering people's names, and I was always envious of it. And I thought, I need to sit down with him and for him to tell me how he accomplished that. I asked Brother Jerry after he had invited me to go on the mission trip to Brazil, I asked him how many on that list told him no before he got down to a 36-year-old guy that had no experience at it, and he never would say. So he always made you think that you were the first that he asked and that you were the most important. But the thing about it was after going to Brazil, somebody that was not very mission-minded, fell in love with international missions. And so coming back from that, I had this love and passion for a nation, a country, people that I'd never met before. We didn't speak the same language, but I just had a passion. And so since that time when he asked me, then I've probably been on international missions somewhere between 15 to 20 times. That God just blessed me, allowed me to have the passion and compassion to do international missions. Again, going to countries that I don't speak the language, but it seems like that's never been a problem for God to work it out for them and for me both. The thing that I most mentioned about Brother Jerry was being my pastor, a solid Bible teacher, but along with that, he was really, really a good friend. Probably the first pastor that I would say, being a young adult, that the pastor was not only my pastor, but was a good friend. Brother Jerry baptized my 3 daughters. Brother Jerry married 2 out of my 3 daughters. And it seems like that whenever I needed him or something like that, I really felt comfortable about just picking up the phone and calling him and say, hey, could you do this for me, or could I meet, and I wanted to run something by you. So it was really a special relationship that I felt like that he had not only with me, but with everybody in the congregation.